heaps of people were kind of like, that's a really cool idea. You should make a thing of it. So one day I sat down at home with a beer and I just sat there. I bought Dogecoin.com. That's a bit funny. And I slapped the Doge face onto a coin and just put it live. And I wake up the next day to heaps of retweets. And my co-founder, who's based up in Portland, had messaged me and said, hey, I found that you can change I forked the Bitcoin source code or the Litecoin source code, and you can change the font to Comic Sans. I'm like, ooh, okay, we got to do this. Like, that's hilarious.
Let's move on to Bitcoin, shall we? That's a virtual
Bitcoin has now almost overtaken
all-time high this week of $900. Now, at its peak, if you have invested $1,000 a year, you have to...
Hey everybody, Chris here. Welcome on a Monday evening. How's everybody doing? We've got a little bit of a pullback going on. We're going to talk about what pullbacks are and what real pullbacks are. Look a little bit in the past of crypto trading. Of course, come to the right place for up to date what is going on in the world of Dogecoin. Cover some other cryptos as well, but Dogecoin is still the 9th largest cryptocurrency by market cap. 7th if you don't count stable coins, because that's just kind of manufactured anyway. So that's what we're here to talk about today. Also, is Dogecoin pumping? Is Dogecoin dumping? Are you pumping it? Are you dumping it? Are you hodling? What's going on? Want to hear from you as well. And yeah, right now we got a lot going on. And with that, we'll see whether we've got a good trading week ahead, what's going to keep the trading up, or what might dump it. So let me drop down here in the corner. My volume is good. I've got a good indicator here. So Kyle, check your settings there. Check your settings. We're looking at the charts, and I've got a little thing on charts. I always look at the charts, and some of you guys may not really understand charts like I do, but I do talk about a number of the basics as well. And the charts is just, that's what I use to tell what's going on in the crypto markets, as well as the news and forecasts and things like that. So we're going to get into a little bit of that as well. And I mean, we're sitting here with a full moon going on, and some people tend to think that full moons lead to big gains or crashes, or I mean, you can make anything up you want, right? Whatever fits your narrative. But I'm going to talk more about, well, in the past, what has led to the best gains in crypto investing. And there's a risk reward always. I mean, investing in cryptocurrency in the first place is risky. Some people just buy Doge for the fun of it and don't care about investing and all of that. Although, yeah, I think most people, I mean, the back of your minds, you're thinking you're going to make money on Doge when you buy it. But a lot of people just want to spend it and use it and have fun with it, things like that. I mean, that's what Bitcoin was supposed to be about. And Bitcoin was like that for a while. But then people start to see the price action and the value of, initially the Bitcoin that they had, and it was worth more. And then it became a little bit less about eCash and more about making money. The same thing happened with Dogecoin. That was in the intro, that was Jackson Palmer, who came up with the idea. And then, of course, Billy Marcus did the coding. But Jackson's idea there, and Billy as well, they didn't care about the price. It was just to have fun. That's all it was for. And when Dogecoin was launched, it was initially just made to have fun. But then you got a bunch of people who bought a bunch of it. The price went up. Profit motive takes over. And then it becomes a different thing. So that's where we are now with cryptocurrency overall, is people are generally investing in it to make money. So there is that to talk about as well. So the whole risk reward thing and what you, where you want to place your risk, that's up to you. I tell you what I'm doing, and I tell you my opinions based on what I'm doing and what I'm not doing as well. So we're going to talk about some of that as well today. So first, let's get into the charts, because when I look at charts here, and this is the Dogecoin chart here, and I always have this on my live streams and during most of my videos as well. I have this on here. And this is Trading View. I use the basic Trading View here. Nothing, this isn't a special. I'm not paying for this. Anybody can use this on your own. You get to save 30 of your favorite cryptos up here that you want to follow, or stocks or index funds, things like that. You can choose what you want up here, but you get 30 of them for free. Any more than 30, then you got to start buying subscriptions. You also get 2 indicators over here. You get a volume indicator, but the volume comes with it, and then you get the 2 indicators. You can turn the volume off if that bothers you, just like you can turn the background grid off and do other things like that. This is the 50 moving average is the blue one, and the white one is the 200. I most recently had that on, as those are indicators of how the cryptocurrency has traded in the past, and mostly was used for like the 1-day chart here. And we looked at the 1-day chart, because I just choose up here in the upper left-hand corner there, what I want each of these candles to represent. So now this is the daily. I normally have it on like 15 minutes, but this is the daily. And what we were showing last week was this blue 50-day moving average crossed over the white 200-day moving average. And that right there was what they call a golden cross. And generally following golden crosses, there is an upward movement in the price. It just normally happens that way. And that's what we had. So that's what that was about. The red and green bars are called candles. And so this is a blow up of what that looks like. So when you see a red bar, that means at the beginning of that time period, whether it's a 5-minute chart, 15-minute chart, hour chart, daily chart, whatever it is, at the beginning of that time period, the price opened up at some level. And if as the price is changing while you're in that time period, if the current price is lower than when it started that time period, it's going to be a red candle. So it's going down. So then you have that red candle. Then at the end of that time period, when it exits, like after 5 minutes, after 15 minutes, a daily, no matter what you have the chart set to, it's going to stay a red candle if the close is lower than when you opened. The opposite is if it goes up during that time period, then it's a green candle, and then you have that movement. You also have these things called wicks. You've got high wicks and low wicks. And on the high wicks, that means the price during that time period, let's say this is the daily, the price actually went up higher and came back down, but it didn't stay higher than the open in this case, or lower than the close. So those are the wicks. So I talk about wicks as well. When you have real long wicks, especially in a short time period, that means there was some really volatile price action going on. It was happening really fast. So some people like long wicks. Depends on what you're doing, whether you're shorting or you're leverage trading or anything like that. But that's high risk, very high risk. So be careful with that. So these are the candles. So I talk about candles, I talk about wicks, and green and red. And when we go back and look at Dogecoin, we look at today, and this is on the daily. And today we have a red candle here. We've got a big wick right here that went up to 8.2 cents, just about 8.2. Is that big wick there. So that means that sometime during the day, and the day isn't over yet, the day still has 2 more hours left, because the days on TradingView are all based on the UTC time, and then it resets. So in East Coast Boston, where I am, everything resets on TradingView to 0 and starts over. Where if you go to like Coin Market Cap here, their 24 hours, a 24-hour time period, and they're comparing the price now versus what the price was 24 hours ago, regardless of the day beginning and the day ending. But that's just a different way, different places look at that. So we look at this daily candle, and right now the daily candle for Dogecoin is red. But I can change this to be a 4-hour chart and zoom in a little more and get a little more understanding of what happened over the last day. And it looks like the price went up and came back down. So that was that wick we saw on the daily now becomes actual candles. And then if I go to the 2-hour chart, I can see even more exact how Dogecoin traded. But once you start zooming in and those candles become shorter time periods, you lose the context on the screen of where it had traded earlier. So you can zoom out and the candles can become narrower, and you can see more of that price action. So you can play with that. Anyway, so that's a little bit about charts and candles. And so just because I had some questions, people were asking me questions, I was just like, well, that's what a candle is. That's what a wick is. So there is that. So thought I would just start with that. I generally look at the 15-minute because to me, that gives me enough time to look like a whole day of trading in the past on one screen, and a generally shorter time frame that I can see what's happening live. So that's generally what I start at, is the 15-minute chart. And that's just me. Now, when I go onto Coinbase, generally that's where I do most of my trading, my buying and selling. I usually have it on a 5-minute on Coinbase. You go to 5 minutes and you can actually see some price movement a little more. And you can even go to 1 minute. And on the 1 minute chart, you get like exactly what Dogecoin is doing this very minute. So that's the movement there. Is on 1 minute. I never use the 1 minute charts. It just, to me, that really doesn't do much in terms of telling me how something is trading, because there's one trade up, one trade down, and it just moves so fast. So that's my little intro on that, because someone had asked. Button here, and you can join the YouTube channel. You get a little check mark next to your name in the chat. Your name is green, and you get to use other emojis in the chat that others aren't able to use. And this is going to keep growing and growing. And also on top of that, we have this portfolio called the Kriss DCA portfolio here that is now up 25% so far, well in the green, trading very well. And when we sell this portfolio in a year's time or so, I'm going to be giving out Dogecoin. And I'm going to be sending you guys Dogecoin who are members of my YouTube channel. So just wanted to put that out there. If you have any questions about that, let me know. But every live stream, I generally, we talk about this portfolio here. We DCA'd this portfolio in July, August, and September of this year when prices were low. And we can see what's happening now with this great movement that cryptos have had, October and November, that we are 25%. How much more percentage is this going to be come 2024, I think it's going to keep growing. But there will be some pullbacks, and we'll talk about that in a minute, because there are generally in crypto trading some big pullbacks that happen. And I'll show you some examples of that. And you just have to weather it, in my opinion. That's what I do. But like right now, we're having this pullback here. I mean, we were up to 13,000 here last night, and now we're down to 12,500. So this has lost $500 in value over the past 13 hours or so, 14 hours. But that happens. That's trading. Doesn't mean everything just doesn't keep going up. So remember that. So with Dogecoin at 7.7 cents, that's generally where we have been for the past week or so. So a little up and a little down, but generally that's where we're strategy at all. So what's first on the news? Dogecoin surge, unveiling the catalyst behind rising transactions. That's right. What is going on? There's a lot of talk about this uptick in the number of transactions that are happening on the Dogecoin blockchain. Some think it's no big deal. Some think it's a lot of whales moving a lot of coins around. And some think it's kind of being bombarded by bots and others that are inscripting blocks on the blockchain, sort of like ordinals. And in Dogecoin, they call them doginals. So doginals. And Billy Marcus thinks it's kind of mucking up the blockchain, and that isn't good for Doge. And that could be. But me, I'm like, I think it's all good. Notable surge in Doge transactions exceeding $100,000 in the past month, consistently hitting new highs. This uptick suggests increased interest in Doge from institutional players and whales, potentially gearing up for a significant price spike. That could be, that's what Ali says, but others are saying it's doginals. The doginals experiment was initially introduced in May. During that period, developers expressed their intention for it to function as a faithful replication of Bitcoin ordinals. The experiment yields successful results, which is of notable interest. Users possess the capability to engrave both images and textual content onto the Dogecoin blockchain. So I think doing that is cool, but what's the actual utility there? Well, again, it's Dogecoin, and Dogecoin is to make fun and to have fun, and I think it's all just fun. It's just fun. It's a fun thing to do. Just like sending a Dogecoin up to the moon, right? That's going to happen next month. It's a fun thing to do. It really doesn't do anything, but it's fun. And that's what Dogecoin's about. And that's why I love talking about Dogecoin. So yeah, Doginals, DRC20. I mean, you can do a lot on the Dogecoin blockchain, like you can do on Ethereum and you can do on Bitcoin. There's a lot you could do there. Is it the best utility-wise? Who cares? It's like we're having fun. But we're having fun, and we want the price to go up too. So, but that's how Doge trades. But look, I mean, Doge is still the 9th largest cryptocurrency by total market cap, $11 billion worth. That's $2 billion over Tron. And actually, over the past 24 hours, Dogecoin is in the green. Tron is down 5%, Link is down 5%, Avalanche down 5%, Polygon down 3%, Cardano down 4%, Solana down 6%, XRP down 3%, ETH down 3%, Bitcoin down a little under 2%, and Doge kind of acting like a stable coin. Who would have thought, right? Again, this is just the last day. Obviously, Doge trades much more volatile than most other cryptos on other days. But today, Doge is a stable coin. Kind of funny, right? Kind of funny. So despite all that activity happening on the Dogecoin blockchain, Doge is doing okay, right? It's not falling like we see other cryptos taking big dips. And these aren't even big dips crypto-wise. I mean, a 6% dip. I mean, Solana If you look at Solana, right, for instance, Solana was bound to go down. It was bound to go down. I go to the hourly here and we look at Solana when it pumped up to like $60 here, right? So for those of you that bought Solana at 60, that's, to me, that's chasing, right, a big run up in a price of a crypto, which generally you don't want to do. If you were dollar cost averaging at a certain time on a certain day, and it just happened to hit when Solana was up here at $60, well, sometimes that happens. But generally, when I DCA, I do it not at a certain time on a certain day, but when I see a dip happen. So I wait for those dips, and that's when I buy. That's how I trade into cryptocurrencies. I do not, every once in a while, I do some swing trading, but not generally. Only when I see that there's a real opportunity. But I'm not doing it so much anymore because there's a lot of uncertainty about pullbacks, and we don't know when and how much pullbacks are going to be. So I'm with Jason. We're just DCing and buying in when I have some cash, and I'm going to buy into Doge or some other cryptocurrency. I'm looking at the charts and I'm waiting for that pullback of what, or dip or whatever it may be, and finding the price where I want to buy it at. So pump or dump. Well, for me, I'm just diamond handing it for another year. That's generally what I'm doing. I'm hodling. And I don't think we're going to be seeing huge dumps, but again, we're going to take a look at some charts of history and look at pullbacks that have happened in the past, like on Bitcoin. Bitcoin has had huge pullbacks before, even in the middle of a bull market, it still pulls back. So, and the question is, are we even in a bull market? I mean, if you look at Bitcoin, right, 36,972, you come back on the weekly chart and you say, well, I mean, look at Bitcoin here. Since in the past year, Bitcoin has gone up from 1 year ago to now. Bitcoin is up 137%. Now you tell me, is that a bull market? That looks pretty bullish to me. Alex, one at a time, please, dude. I gotcha. I'll get to you, but one at a time, dude. I'll put you in timeout. Come on. So that, I mean, Bitcoin went up that much. Dogecoin didn't. Dogecoin's been relatively flat. It's had a few little pumps and followed by dumps because Dogecoin isn't ready to go on its own trajectory up yet. It's not ready for it yet. We call them catalysts. We need those catalysts in Dogecoin for Dogecoin to really take off and stay up there. And I think that's coming, mostly in 2024, but we will see. We will see. So that's kind of my overview of pump or dump and what I'm doing. I am just accumulating still. And I'm going to be in accumulation mode through the halving, Bitcoin halving in April next year. And then we'll see how the rest of 2024 goes. But right now, with Elon talking about X Twitter and X payments, something happening on that next fall, in fall of 2024, I'm not going to sell my Dogecoin before that. The opportunity that has to propel the Dogecoin price up is much greater than taking any small profits there may be along the way, or even trying to swing trade it when you don't even know when Doge is going to pump. So that's my take on it. All right, Alex, is that the time to Elon Musk do something as a habit or purpose to show the value of Doge and make sure it's not behind? Well, I think, Elon's got a lot going on, right? Dogecoin is not like in like the top 10 of things going on in his brain, right? I mean, he was just in Israel today, like touring parts of Israel, talking to Netanyahu and others. I mean, like free speech and what's going on with wars and things is like up there. He's got SpaceX, he's got Tesla. I mean, he's got a lot of things going on. But he has a team. We understand there's an engineering team that's working on X payments. And they also have to get a lot of approvals in order to roll it out. And they got to be getting all those approvals. And Elon estimates it's going to take 12 months to do that. So that's just what it takes. So there's no other reason for Elon to really pump Dogecoin right now that I can see. I think eventually he's going to get around to Tesla and Tesla accepting cryptocurrency payments again, Bitcoin, maybe even Dogecoin as well. That would be cool. That'd be awesome. I'll take that. But it's just going to take a while. So, hey, Giancarlo, how are you? Mars says, I'll buy more Doge at 7. Already hold a decent bag. Why cash out 100K when you can wait for $1 million? That's right. Exactly. Exactly. DM says, what would happen if more people hold the Doge? Would it increase the demand and increase the price? More people holding Doge. I mean, there's still a lot of Doge there to buy. It's not like a lot of the YouTubers talking about the scarcity of Bitcoin on exchanges. There's plenty of Doge. So that's not it. What it more is people not selling their Dogecoin. It's not the fact that they're holding it. It's the fact that they're not selling it. That's what more helps Doge's price. But if you want to go buy, millions of Dogecoin right now, you can. It's readily available, and it won't do much for the price because there's always buying and selling going on. You've got the bots buying and selling. You've got traders. That's always going on. Now, unless you want to buy billions. Now, if you want to buy billions of Dogecoin, yeah, that'll affect the price. But you can do it. There's billions out there to buy. So Jason's got over 213,000 through DCA. Why Doge? Much wow. Yeah, done. So DZ asked about SHIB. So I've talked a lot about SHIB, and you guys know where I stand on SHIB. SHIB was made as the Doge killer initially. But then SHIB went on some big run right back in 2021 and made millionaires out of people that had just eeped into SHIB early on and held enough that when SHIB went on its big run, made a lot of people rich. A lot of people who sold their SHIB before, and a lot of people who jumped on the SHIB bandwagon too late, and the price is still not back where they bought it from. So here's the SHIB chart, right? I mean, SHIB was way up here at 0.0008, and now it's 0.00008. So it has to do a 10x to get back to where it was. Can SHIB do that? Sure, it could. Again, SHIB initially was just a token, right? Didn't have any utility, didn't do anything. It was made on the Ethereum blockchain, just like a bunch of other tokens like Pepe and others that were just made for the fun of it and to make the developers a lot of money. That's generally what it was. So will SHIB run up again in price? I think so. So I bought some. I bought some SHIB. My average is right here at 10. That blue line is my average. So I'm a little down on mine that I bought. Am I worried about it? Nope. I think there's enough holders of SHIB and there's going to be enough interest. And especially with the SHIB devs now that run it are actually trying to make utility out of it with Shibarium and SHIB Swap and all of that, right? There's a lot going on with that ecosystem. And now that cryptocurrency is kind of doing stuff, right? So who knows? Who knows what'll happen? But I thought it was worth a little bit that I would throw some at SHIB. And when SHIB goes on its big run next time, which I think eventually it will, then I've got some and I can feel good about myself. Yeah, I actually bought some of that and I made some money off it. So I'm waiting for that. Sheep is not going to be a long-term hold for me. The next time it goes on some big run, I'm going to sell it. I'm going to book the profits, and I'm going to take those profits, and I'm going to put it into something else that I'll then probably hold longer term. So that's my take on sheep. Since you asked, is there any possibility of Argentina accepting Doge? No. Argentina is not going to accept Doge. Argentina is going to, right now, the plan is, right? Milei says, get rid of their whole banking system that they have. The peso goes to zero. They adopt the United States dollar as their standard, which is what El Salvador already had. And they'll probably accept Bitcoin as currency. Most likely, that's how it's going to be played out. So those that talking about, oh, wouldn't it be great if Argentina accepted Dogecoin? That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Those kinds of things are only going to happen if Dogecoin takes over X Twitter. If Elon really does set up X Twitter with payments on the app that are in Dogecoin and not others, there's no Bitcoin, there's no ETH, it's just Dogecoin. If he did that, wow, that would be awesome. Then you might get some people thinking about, Dogecoin's currency on X. Maybe I'll use it for this or that. Who knows, right? It's just a dream right now, something to think about. But yeah. Sheep's whole basis was to be a troll coin. No thanks. That's true. Absolutely right, Tedward. I just bought some just to be in the game because it's cryptocurrency and I do want to make money on some of this. I have no allegiance to sheep, don't care about it. It's just one of those I want to make money on. That's it. I've got a few of those. It's like Jasmine, right? I'm going to be on the Jasmine. When Jasmine takes off, I've got a bag of Jasmine. I'm going to do the same thing, right? I don't care if Jasmine is the Bitcoin of Japan or not, or whatever they call it. It's not doing anything now. So it's just to make money. Because part of me just wants to make money on some of this, right? What else is going on? Dogecoin price forecast anticipating a value of 0802, so over 8 cents by end of November. So do you guys think in the next few days we'll get back up to 8 cents? We had a run yesterday, topped off over 8 cents, and then came back down a bit. That's on the short term. That's good. We'll see what happens over the next few days, whether we see more of a dip or not. But, over 8 cents, that could be good. Again, here's Ali talking about the number of large transactions, which have been increasing since the middle of October up. So we talked about that. But we also have this. Now, this is interesting. Coinbase announces support for perpetual futures contracts. So what is this? Well, this means that you can, on Coinbase, trade with leverage on Coinbase. Well, they're introducing it, and they're adding support for Cardano, Chainlink, Dogecoin, and Stellar. Yes, Doge. So you'll have a Doge perp market, and that's going to be live come 30th of November. So by the end of the month, Doge perp. Now, I'm not going to do this. Again, I've told you guys, right? That's risky. When you start trading with leverage or you start shorting, that is risky. But you get a lot of these other guys. I mean, like George, right? And Cryptos R Us, right? He's doing these degen buys now, right? And he's posting about him, like the Grok token and whatever else things, right? Well, he can afford to do it because his channel, he gets a lot of viewers, right? So his ad revenue is huge. I think he's already paid for his new house. So he's got this other money coming in. And so he has a lot of extra money. So for him to throw, a few $1,000s on 10x or 20x leverage on the Grok token or whatever, he can afford to do that. It's some of you guys, though, who don't have that kind of money, and you're putting your hard-earned cash into these degen plays with all this leverage, and then you get liquidated. You don't have that extra money. So I do, and I could, but it doesn't interest me. My interest is in a long-term hold, following 4-year cycles that we've talked about many times on this channel. I'll probably have to do a whole nother session just on 4-year cycles again, but we'll be looking at making profits slow and steady, and then finding the right time to skim off some profits. Or like Sheeb and Jasmine and others, I'll just sell it whole. I'll just dump it all and book that profit. So that's how I'm treating it. I just say be careful. Coinbase is going to make money off this. That's why exchanges want people on their platform to use leverage and to short, because they make money. They make a lot of money this way. So Coinbase is looking at this as a way to make money, and to have Dogecoin in there, okay. Does it do anything for the price of Dogecoin? There's more trading. I mean, some people wonder, why does the price go down? Well, a lot of times it's just traders and trading, and those leverage plays are people buying and selling, and that happens all the time. So that's why a lot of this price action is just people skimming profits with leverage here and there. They'll throw 10x, 20x leverage on something, say here at 7.7, it goes up to 7.8, and then they sell, and they book that profit on those little bit of margins. Hey, if you want to do that, I've done this swing trading before. I haven't done the leverage trading. Again, I'm not going to get into it, but I get all anxious and worried about the price, and I'm not interested in that. I'm looking at long-term gains. That's what I'm looking at. So that's me. Yes, if Elon does just Doge on X Twitter, it'll rock the whole system. Absolutely. Tedward says, I'm all about making money too. Crypto is enough of a risk though. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge, only ones you trust. I've branched out a little bit further than that, but I've made some decent gains on getting in at Chainlink in the summer. IMX is my gaming play, and I'm doing very well on that one, and think that there are bigger gains to come on those. And there's always Dogecoin. And Zippy says, yeah, Doge fees are lower than Bitcoin in terms of usage as a currency. And then the Bitcoin maxis always, but we have Lightning Network. And it's like, yeah, Lightning Network is taking its fee, right? They're making money off of it. So you get those fees on top of, I don't know how they actually make money if they're saying your fee is lower by using Lightning Network. I mean, someone still has to pay the Bitcoin fee. So I don't know how they do it. They must find some time sometimes to interact with the actual Bitcoin blockchain at times when it's a lower fee than what they charge for their layer 2 transactions. I don't know the specifics of how they do it. But with Doge, you don't need a layer 2. You don't need a Lightning Network. Doge is just Doge. So, yeah. And Jason says, I believe the smaller countries that are establishing crypto as their currency will be the movement we need to switch. US dollar will not switch easily. Yep. And that's what we see. And of course, in the United States, right, you got senators like Elizabeth Warren who are fighting crypto because they're in bed with the banks, and the banks don't like crypto either. They don't want us, taking all of our money and buying cryptocurrencies and doing cross-border payments, international payments, and things like that, because then they don't get their piece of it. So they don't like it. Well, then of course you have the JP Morgans and the BlackRocks and Vanguards, Fidelities, who want to get in on the crypto market, though, in terms of being able to offer their wealthy clients the ability to buy crypto directly through them so they can make money. So there's a lot of that too. Yeah, the future wars will be crypto versus the banks. It's going on now. But the banks, and some of them are in a tough position, right? Because they can make money with crypto. All kind of interesting. So we have Ethereum versus Dogecoin, cryptos that can dominate the charts in 2024. What's going to happen in 2024? We know Bitcoin has the halving, right? We think 2024 is going to be a good year for Bitcoin. Ethereum really hasn't done much this year, hovering around $2,000, but there's a lot of talk about great gains in Ethereum with smart contracts, maybe even their own ETFs. We'll see about that. There's a lot that can happen with Ethereum, but then there's Doge. And Dogecoin can dominate the charts in 2024. And there's the cool Doge I had on my thumbnail that I took from here. It's just like pump or dump. I don't care. I'm cool. I'm Dogecoin. Looking forward to 2024. It's going to be a great year. So that's what I'm looking forward to, is that great year coming ahead. So there's that. And then we've got there's this warning of Mishabar. And this is where it's like, be careful out there. Again, once you start dealing in cryptocurrencies, you're dealing with money. And whenever money is involved, you get the hackers and the scammers. They're going to try and take your money. They're going to take your crypto. So, number one, never share any private information or send any crypto or money to any influencers promising you access to special channels on Telegram or Discord or any of that. Be very careful. These kinds of scams are more and more common and come from ex-Twitter handles that might even happen to have a very big and popular crypto accounts following them. Be careful. When it comes to Telegram, and this is what Mishabar says, Telegram equals hell. I left Telegram. I used to be in Telegram a couple of years ago, but I deleted my account. I'm done. I'm not even going on there. I get people emailing me and say, contact me on Telegram. Hey, you want to communicate with me? You stay on email. I am not going to Telegram. And I'm not going on to Discord. I'm not doing it. And the worst thing you can do is attach your crypto wallet for some precious airdrop or something. I'm like, if you're going to do that, dude, get a new wallet. Don't attach a wallet that has any cryptocurrency in it to get any airdrops. Start a new one. That's the best advice I could give you. Start a new one. Put in a little bit that you might need for a little gas, and that's it. Don't have anything else on there. Why would you risk that? Wallets are free. You can have hundreds of wallets. It doesn't care. I mean, it's harder to manage, right? If you get a bunch of wallets, but figure out how you're going to do it. But do not connect your crypto wallet that has a shitload of cryptos on it to anything. That's why I use Ledger, right? And we still have this going on. The Black Friday event is going through Cyber Monday. Today's the last day. Buy a hardware wallet. I have a link in the description below to ledger.com. And this is the Ledger Nano S Plus. You get the certificate of $20 of Bitcoin that will come with your Ledger. It'll be in the box, right? And then that's because I got $20 of free Bitcoin when I bought mine last year on the same deal. and I got my free Bitcoin. And all I had to do was give them a wallet address, and they sent the Bitcoin, and it happened. And Bitcoin a year ago was a lot less than it is now, because Bitcoin's now more than doubled. And so I've actually got $40 back. Now, looking at it, that's almost a free hardware device, because this was only like $80. So, pretty good deal. It's a pretty good deal. And with this, again, this is the Nano S Plus. It's the least expensive hardware wallet that Ledger has now. You don't need Bluetooth. You don't need it. Plug it in, do your business, and then unplug it. That's my recommendation. If you want to go degen with wallets and stuff, you use like a MetaMask or Trust, right? Something on your phone, something that doesn't have other cryptos on it, and you go play those games with those. But the real crypto that you want, your Bitcoin, your ETH, your Doge, your whatever else, which is like you're going to be holding for a while, get it off the exchanges, put it on a wallet, and be safe and secure with it. That's what I'm doing. I can't give you advice, but I can say I've heard so many stories of people losing their crypto. Bogdan scammed with BenCoin, $3,000. I'm hearing more and more this whole Ben V2. As soon as I heard there was a V2, it's like there's got to be some reason Ben's doing that to make himself money, most likely. But also, there's some stories out there about some of the contract language that's in the V2 gives Ben and his dev a lot of power over, let's just say a lot of power over wallets. We'll just leave it at that. Yeah, just what I've heard, but be careful. But with Telegram, I mean, this crap happens all the time, Bogdan. You're not alone. It happens all the time. I stay away from Telegram. Like I said, I deleted it. Don't have it anymore. Don't care. And the same thing is happening on Discord too. People just, they're attaching wallets and just stuff just goes. So be careful out there. MyDoge is a good, I have a MyDoge as well. Let's see, what do I have on my MyDoge now? I haven't even opened it in a little while. MyDoge. It's my little MyDoge app. I've got 86 Doge in my MyDoge app right here. 86 Doge. So that's it for small transactions. Doge. Highly recommended for tipping, using Doge for different things. Anyway, take a look at Ledger Live, guys. Just take a look at it. If you bought on Robinhood and you're happy with your Doge just sitting on Robinhood, that's your choice. You can do that. But if anything ever happened to Robinhood, they're not your coins. That's all I'm saying. They're not your coins. Where you put them on your hardware device, they're yours. I'm just saying. AMC. AMC leadership are playing games, is what they're doing. They made that whole ape thing, which then all of those shares ended up getting plussed up into AMC. And then they're doing another offering of more shares, and more shares, and the AMC price is going down. I thought we were on a good run there, up over $10, $11, going well. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, they say, we're going to do this offering for more shares. Tank the price. Some people are buying the dip, but usually you start seeing those games being played, and they're just going to keep doing it. So I don't know if AMC is ever going to go on a big run again, like we saw in 2021, like early 2022. until that was it. So I don't know. I bought some AMC. I have it. And it's in my stock portfolio, small part of my stock portfolio. I mostly have Tesla and some Apple, and then some other stuff from back in 2019, 2020. Still, I have some Workhorse, which is way, way down, and still have some Gevo, long-term play, and just holding on to those. That's about it for stocks. I mean, I still have my whole retirement account, which is all in a Vanguard thing, which I put money in twice a month, every month. My employer matches, right? So I'm all set there. So, yeah, Adam Aaron frustrates you. Yeah, me too. Yep. I was really surprised, especially how open Adam was, especially on Twitter, talking about his company and how they came through the pandemic and opening up and they're going to do great and all that. And then there's all this crap going on. It's just like, come on, dude. Money grab. So, and that was all because of people like you and me thinking, oh, we're going to buy more AMC stock because it's going to go up. And people just buy it up. That happens. We have Bitcoin hovering near the yearly high. I tweeted out, Bitcoin, strong move over 38,000. That was on the 24th. We had this big move up with Bitcoin. That was its yearly high. Since then, Bitcoin has come down a bit, now at 37. But what can happen with Bitcoin is Bitcoin trades forward. A lot of people talking about 40K by the end of the year, 50K by the halving, 100K by the end of next year or more. That's great trading. But there's always going to be pullbacks. And the one chart I wanted you guys to see is this one that Mr. Crypto had posted today, which I thought was very interesting. This is looking back at 2016, 2017, which is the big, huge bull run for Bitcoin back then. And even though there were these big, huge gains, there were big pullbacks, like 38%, 38%, 33%, 38%, 36%, 29%. You look at all of those, and those are all average over 30% drops. If you got a 30% drop today in Bitcoin, you're down at like 26K. It's like a lot of people would see a drop in Bitcoin now, like from 37 to 27, they'd be like, the sky is falling, Bitcoin's going to zero. But Bitcoin has traded like this in the past and had these big pullbacks. And there are a lot of people are calling for a big pullback in Bitcoin. Personally, right now, I don't think that's going to happen, at least until January 10th, and then we'll see what happens. That is when the SEC is supposed to make its final decision on the ARK Invest Bitcoin spot ETF. And if for some reason that gets further delayed or is denied, we could see a 30% drop in the price of Bitcoin. I don't think it's going to happen before then. So I think where we are right now, again, this is just a guy on the internet, right, guessing, but I think we're okay. In this price period, we're okay as far as Bitcoin goes. And we've been on this upward trend here. This is back on the daily chart. We've been on this upward trend since 24th of October. And I don't see it breaking out or coming down below. It could level out and we could just see sort of churn going sideways here through December. That could happen with Bitcoin. I don't see a big drop down to 25, 26K though. That would be a 30% drop. That would be from where we are now. If there was a 30% drop, yeah, Yeah, that's down like 25, 26K. Would be a 30% drop. Could Bitcoin do that? Sure. And as I just showed, Bitcoin has done that in the past during a bull market. If we're in a bull market now in Bitcoin, like I showed earlier, because Bitcoin's up 120, 130% over the past year, that sounds pretty bullish to me for Bitcoin. Now, altcoins haven't all done that. Doge hasn't done that. But then how Doge trades and Bitcoin trades isn't always the same. It isn't always one-on-one. Doge goes on its own runs at its own time. So I'm not dumping. I'm not selling. I'm not even skimming profits. I'm waiting, and I'm being patient with Doge. Yeah, that's just what I'm doing. I'm being patient. Because Doge hasn't done a lot. Now, this has been great since middle of October. Doge has actually outperformed Bitcoin. Bitcoin's price has gone up. Doge's price has gone up more, which is a good start, but it's just a start. And I will not be discouraged. And I'm just looking forward to 2024 and what the exciting year is going to be. So that's what I'm doing. Pum, 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 pum. Yeah, head and shoulder patterns. Yeah, I've heard all that. I think it's going down under 7 cents, maybe to 6.8. It could, Sergio. It could. We could see that kind of dip. I don't think Doge is going to do that on its own, though. It'll only do that if Bitcoin goes on a dip. If Bitcoin goes down to 36, 35K, then yeah, Doge will be fighting 7 cents. We saw that here on November 14th, right here. There was a wick that came down. It was the last wick below 7 cents. Right there was on November 14th. What did Bitcoin do on November 14th? It wicked down to 35K right there. So yeah, we could see that kind of thing happen again. Doge was moving up in 30 percentages in 21. I know. April of 2021 was beautiful, wasn't it? And also end of January, beginning of February, when Doge did a 4x in like a day and a half. Craziness. You'd empty your whole bank account. Be careful about that. Here I don't believe in patterns, head and shoulders, this and that and the other. I don't believe in it. Just because something does a pattern on a chart doesn't mean that's how it's going to trade going forward. You have no idea. You don't know what the news is going to be tomorrow. Inverse head and shoulders, it's like, doesn't matter, in my opinion. There's a lot of people who make money, like doing all their charting, on a daily basis. And I love Tom Crown. I think Tom's great. And I watch him when I can. And there are others who do all of that. Awesome. It's fun, right? But half the time it's right and half the time it's wrong. That's just the way it is. Half the time it's right, half the time it's wrong. Because you don't know. Yeah, there's the 4-hour chart. Let's go to the 2-hour chart. Yeah, not really. I don't even know what chart it is that does the actual head and shoulders. Maybe it's partially this one, right? On a 1-hour chart, I guess you get a shoulder here and you get a head kind of lopsided and then a shoulder, right? So maybe you could talk about that, right? I don't know. Again, it doesn't mean anything to me. So I look at the news, I look at what's going on. And like I said, I think this whole anticipation of a Bitcoin spot ETF is going to keep the crypto market afloat for a while. There's not going to be a huge 30% pullback. Come January, though, we'll see what happens. High risk, high reward. I guess it's the other way, right? High reward, but there's a high risk too on the downside. So we'll be watching that. But we have a lot to look forward to in December. We've got the Dogecoin going to the moon, still on target for December 23rd, 24th. That's going to be fun. A lot of other things going on in the market. We'll be talking about that every day. Every day. I'll be live again on Wednesday, doing another live stream. Trying to get a video out tomorrow. Got a busy day, but we'll see if I can get that done. And then I'll be live again on Friday, still doing late Friday night streams. So I hope you all are well, and we'll see you next time.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably, the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.